Part 190. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1891. Chapter 1891. You must help me. The gap is really too big. They still live in a courtyard house in the village. Can you live in a luxurious villa tomorrow? This is not because the program is playing tricks on them. Why did I lie to you? I told you that the conditions are much better than now. Okay, are you happy now? Happy, of course I'm happy, Sumuafi, I said with a beaming face. I'll have no problem flying over right away. Others naturally have no objections. Although everyone actually has doubts in their hearts and wonders why the shooting was suddenly changed to a different place, the new place is n times better than the current place. Who can have any opinions? They are all eager to leave immediately. After Zhao Yuan finished the notice, he looked at everyone and said, since you don't have any objections, it's settled. Remember, we will gather at the airport at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. You can make your own arrangements for the rest of the time. If you want to go play around, don't go alone, and don't go too far. Try to come back before dark. I got it, brother Zhao. Zhao Yuan nodded, then I'll leave first. If you need anything, come to me. After Zhao Yuan leaves, several people couldn't help but start discussing. You guys think, why do we suddenly have to change the filming location? I don't quite believe the reason brother Zhao said this has not happened in the previous issues, so why in our current issue, we have to suddenly change the filming location? Is it because of Songke? It has nothing to do with Songke. Even if Songke is replaced, there is no need to change the filming location. What's the reason for that? Okay, no matter what the reason is. The program team just arranges for us to cooperate. In fact, Shenfei had already guessed that the change of filming location might have something to do with Jiao Mian. As soon as Mo Yesi arrived, Songke was removed first, and then the filming location was changed. 80% of it is because of Jiao Mian. Mo Yesi found out about Chen Lauer and was definitely worried about Jiao Mian staying here, so he asked the program team to change the filming location. We also chose a good place. 80% also felt that the countryside was unsafe and were afraid that the same thing would happen again, so they changed the shooting location to a tourist city. Shenfei didn't know Mo Yesi's true identity. But to get the entire program team to agree to change the filming location, one can imagine that the identity must be very difficult. Definitely not just an identity rumored online. Sister Fei. A few people were talking when a thin and weak voice came over. Shenfei turned her head and saw Songke walking towards them with red eyes. Sister Fei, Xiao Xiao, Han Yan. Songke came over with red eyes and a pitiful look. Tears flowed out as soon as she spoke. You must help me. Everyone knows that Songke was removed. And everyone also knows that this matter is probably related to Jiao Mian. So when they saw Songke's appearance, they all remained silent and didn't speak. If Songke really did that thing, then she was indeed going too far. She was removed because she asked for it and does not deserve sympathy. Shenfei hated people who used insidious methods behind their backs the most. She looked at Songke with a slightly cold expression. We help you. What have you done to ask us to help you? I. Songke looked at the crowd and bit his lip, with an expression that was difficult to express. Songke, did you do that? Zhanbo asked directly. Are you the one spreading rumors behind my back? End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1892. Chapter 1892. I can't agree to your request. Songke was stunned for a moment, his face changed, he raised his head and looked at Zhanbo in panic. I. Zhanbo understood everything as soon as he saw her reaction. So you really did that thing? You spread rumors and Mian was caught by Chen Lauer. Songke, How could you go so far? Do you know how much impact those rumors you spread will have on me and Mian? You are also a girl, why would you do such a vicious thing? Does Mian have any deep grudge against you? What, Songke did all the rumors? Jeanbo looked at Songke in shock. Songke, is it really you? Why are you doing this? Everyone's eyes were turned to Songke. Songke saw the disgust in Shenfei's eyes, and also saw the dissatisfaction and anger in Jeanbo's eyes. Others looked at her with surprise and disgust. She bit her lip. I know I was wrong, she cried. I know now I was wrong. I will never do this again. Can you give me another chance? I will never do this again. She admitted it. Songke, how could you do such a thing? Han Yan frowned and looked at her. You really went too far. What's the use of apologizing to us? You should apologize to Chiao Mian. She is the one you hurt. Not us. I will apologize to her. Songke nodded hurriedly, but can you also speak to me and ask for a favor from Chiao Mian? I don't want to leave, and I can't bear to leave you all. Please help me ask for a favor from Chiao Mian, please let her forgive me. We beg for mercy for you. Han Yan was stunned for a moment. Yes, please say something nice for me. As long as everyone is willing to say something nice for me, Chiao Mian will definitely forgive me. This, Han Yan didn't dare to make any independent decisions. He turned his head and glanced at Shenfei. Songke also looked at Shenfei, with pleading in his eyes. Sister Fei, can you help me? I really already knew I was wrong. I was also impulsive, but in fact I regretted it at the time. Not all mistakes are made. Is there a chance to make corrections? Can you give me another chance? Shenfei was silent for a while and refused simply. Sorry, Songke, I can't agree to your request. What you did really hurt and affected Mian. Unless Mian herself is willing to forgive you, the rest of us I'm not even qualified to plead for you. Sister Fei is right, we can't agree to your request. Jeanbo also nodded in agreement with Shenfei. Songke, you'd better go and apologize to Mian yourself. Sumuafia looked at Songke's sweet-looking face and felt terrible in his heart. Who would have thought that Songke would do that? Songke was stunned and looked at several people in disbelief. Her tears were still hanging in the corners of her eyes. Sister Fei, Okay, you don't need to say any more. Shenfei refused to accept her act of pretending to be pitiful, and said with a cold and distant attitude, I won't plead for you. This matter has nothing to do with me, and you don't need to look for me anymore. After saying that, Shenfei turned around and left. Sorry, we can't help with this. After Shenfei left, the others also said they couldn't help and left one after another. Songke watched them walk away one by one, his face turned pale. She didn't expect that this group of people would be so ruthless. No one was willing to help her. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1893. Chapter 1893. Songke, I think you are really crazy. She thought that as long as a few people were willing to speak for her and she begged Chiao Mian, she might be able to stay. She was stunned on the spot with a pale face. Seeing that Xiao Xiao and Xiao Angzhen had not left yet, she turned around and grabbed Xiao Xiao's hand and held it tightly. It's like grasping at straws. Xiao Xiao, please help me. The two of them usually have a good relationship, and Songqi will definitely help her no matter what. Unexpectedly, Xiao Xiao frowned and pushed her hand away. Songke looked at her in astonishment. Xiao Xiao stepped back half a step, keeping a distance from her, and said in a very distant tone, Songke, I can't help you with this matter. Sister Fei is right, this is a matter between you and Chiao Mian. It's not good for the rest of us to interfere. I think you should go find Xiao Mian and apologize to her. Maybe she can forgive you. Xiao Xiao is not stupid. She would not help Song Ke at this time. Song Ke was removed because Xiao Mian had found out that she was responsible for the incident. Maybe, Song Ke will be banned. She went to intercede for Song Ke at this time. If she was angered, she would be the next person to leave. What's more, she and Song Ke are just plastic flower sisters who have a superficial relationship. So if something happened to Song Ke, she just wanted to draw a clear line as soon as possible. I have to go back to the room to pack my luggage. See you later. After Xiao Xiao said that, he turned and left. Seeing how realistic she was, Song Ke was so angry that he cursed, "Xiao Xiao, you are such a scheming girl. If you hadn't usually so discord, I wouldn't have had such a big problem with Xiao Mian. Now I finally see that they are using me and want me to deal with Xiao Mian. You are adding insult to injury now. Do you think your end will be any better?" I asked people to post those words on Weibo. You didn't teach me, you asked me to do that. What do you think now? Don't you think you've done anything? Song Ke now realized that Xiao Xiao was using her. She thought that if she couldn't stay, she wouldn't let Xiao Xiao stay. If you want to die, let's die together and hold her on your back. Xiao Xiao's expression suddenly changed. He stopped and said angrily, "Song Ke, what are you talking about? How could you do this? Don't blame me. Let me see if you are crazy. Catch me, I just bite randomly." "Xiao Xiao, if I'm replaced, you don't want to stay any longer." Song Ke gritted his teeth and said, "After using me, you can pretend that nothing happened. No way." Xiao Xiao also became furious. "Song Ke, I think you are really crazy." Xiao Angzhen watched the two of them tearing up each other, twitching the corners of her lips. Just as she was about to leave, she saw Xiao Mian and Mo Yesi walking in from outside. Xiao Angzhen bit her lip as she looked at the two people's hands clasped together. At this time, Song Ke also saw the two people walking in. Her eyes first fell on Mo Yesi, and after a few seconds of obsession, she looked at Xiao Mian beside him. She hesitated for a few seconds and then rushed over. Before he could reach Xiao Mian, Mo Yesi blocked Xiao Mian behind him. As soon as Song Ke ran over, he was kicked away by Mo Yesi. She was kicked back several steps. After standing firm, she looked at the man who had fascinated her just now with a horrified expression. When she met the man's sharp eyes, her was cured instantly, and she showed a frightened expression on her face. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1894. Chapter 1894. Are you still standing up for such a woman? Xiao Mian walked out from behind Mo Yesi. She frowned when she saw Song Ke and Xiao Angzhen. Mo Yesi turned his head, glanced down at her, and put a protective hand around her waist. This scene made Xiao Angzhen even more jealous. Xiao Mian Song Ke came back to his senses. After seeing Xiao Mian, he wanted to rush towards her again. But thinking about the kick she had just received from Mo Yesi, she stood there in fear and did not dare to move. "Xiao Mian, can we talk?" she asked in a low voice, as if begging. "I have nothing to talk to you." Of course Xiao Mian knew what Song Ke wanted to talk to her, because she already knew about Song Ke's removal. She had no intention of forgiving Song Ke. No matter what Song Ke wanted to talk to her about, she was not interested. The expression on Song Ke's face froze. He bit his lips tightly, suppressing the feeling of humiliation, and said in an even lower voice, "Xiao Mian, I want to apologize to you. I found someone to do it for spreading your rumors on Weibo. Yes. I don't like you stealing my limelight. I don't like other people's eyes always on you. I hate that you are more popular than me. I think if you ruin your reputation and make others think you are unclean, They won't like you anymore. I'm sorry, it was all because of my jealousy that I impulsively did something to hurt you. I now know that I did something wrong, and I regret doing it. Please forgive me, okay? I'll do it again in the future. I won't do that anymore. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. Please give me a chance to change my ways. As long as you can forgive me, I will do anything you ask me to do. Song K cried while talking, as if he had really realized his mistake and woke up, and his attitude in admitting his mistake seemed very sincere. But Jiao Mian would not accept her behavior. She looked at Song K expressionlessly and said indifferently, "If an apology is useful, why do you need the police to come? Sorry, I don't accept your apology. I won't forgive you either." Song K was stunned for a moment. Probably she didn't expect that Jiao Mian would directly reject her apology. She thinks that her attitude has been low enough. Her attitude of admitting her mistake is good enough. She begged her so humbly, but she refused. After Jiao Mian finished speaking, she had no intention of paying attention to her anymore. She said to Mo Yesi, "Let's go." Mo Yesi nodded, hugged her and walked past Song K. Song K saw her hope of staying shattered. Thinking that everything she encountered now was because of Jiao Mian, old and new grudges arose, and she became angry. She said bitterly, "Mr. Mo, do you know what kind of person the woman you are hugging is? When you were not here, she had as much fun as she wanted with a group of men from the show crew. All the male artists have been seduced by her. Why do you still want to be a treasure to such a casual woman? She might have had a crush on you a long time ago. Why do you still want to stand up for such a woman?" After learning Mo Yesi's true identity, Song K became even more jealous of Jiao Mian. Why doesn't she have such good luck? Can help the president of Mo Group. Song K knew that Jiao Mian would never forgive her, so he had no intention of asking Jiao Mian to forgive her. But she won't just leave. She was not living a good life, and Jiao Mian could not hope to live a good life either. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1895. Chapter 1895. I'll give you half an hour. Isn't it just because there is a very powerful sponsor? If her funder thinks she is a restless woman, will her funder continue to protect her? After Song K finished speaking, he saw Mo Yesi's expression change. She felt happy, thinking that Mo Yesi believed her words, so she stepped forward happily and said, "Mr. Mo, what I said is true. When you were away, Jiao Mian really went around hooking up with men." However, before she could finish her words, someone kicked her the leg. She couldn't help but scream at the heartbreaking pain. She was in so much pain that she couldn't stand up, so she squatted down while covering her knees with a distorted expression. Above his head, the man's eyes were as if they were quenched with ice, and the gaze that fell on Song K was as if quenched with ice, and his voice was as cold as frost. "If you slander her with one more word, I will make you speechless forever." The words were obviously threatening, but Song K was frightened when he heard them, and he couldn't help but shiver all over. Because when others say so, it may be just a threat. But Mo Yesi said this. Song didn't think he was just threatening her with some harsh words. The place where she was kicked by the knee suddenly swelled up. Her face turned pale from the pain, and cold sweat broke out on her forehead. She raised her head with a painful expression, and when she met the man's cold eyes that could make one's bones tremble, she couldn't help but shudder a few more times. At this moment, when she looked at Mo Yesi, there was no trace of fascination in her eyes. Her dilated pupils showed not only fear, but also fear. Mo Yesi is really charming when this man is charming. But when it gets cruel, it can make people frightened. Song K looked at him with fear in his eyes, not daring to say another word. But there was still reluctance in her eyes. Hearing the noise here, a staff member ran over immediately. When he saw Song-K, who fell to the ground, clutching his knees, his face was pale, and his face was full of tears, he was stunned. Then he looked at Mo Yesi and Jiao Mian beside him, and said respectfully, "Mr. Mo, Miss Jiao, this is what happened. Staff did not know Mo Yesi's true identity. But seeing that Zhao Yuan and the producer were respectful to Mo Yesi, their attitude naturally became respectful. Mo Yesi looked at Song-K as if he were an ant, then looked back indifferently and said, "I'll give you half an hour. After half an hour, I don't want to see this woman again." After saying that, he hugged Jiao Mian and left. The staff member was stunned again. After realizing that he was referring to Song-K, he immediately said to Song-K, "Ms. Song, you heard Mr. Mo's request just now. Please move quickly and leave the program group." Song-K's leg was still hurting. The staff's ruthless expulsion made her furious. She couldn't help but yelled at the staff, "What do you mean? Why are you urging me to leave the show?" The staff looked at her helplessly and spread their hands. "Miss Song, it's not that we are urging you to leave, it's Mr. Mo who wants to leave. Mr. Mo is the largest investor in this episode of our program. His words can even lead to the chief director. You have to listen, I'm just conveying his meaning to you. Miss Song, it's better to do what Mr. Mo said, otherwise, you will only suffer the consequences." Song-K was suddenly removed. I heard it was Mr. Mo's intention. Moreover, the program team has now been informed that they need to change filming locations. I heard that Mr. Mo also had the intention. Hence, it can be seen that the other party must be a very powerful person. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1896. Chapter 1896. Who allowed you to touch my things? If a young artist like Song-K doesn't know what's interesting, it's not just as simple as removing her from a variety show. After the staff member finished speaking, he ignored Song-K and turned around to leave. Xiao Xiao and Xiao Angzhen hadn't left yet. They saw the scene where Mo Yesi had just kicked Song-K, and both of them looked a little bad. They were all a little frightened. "Song-K, I think you'd better go and clean up quickly." Xiao Xiao looked down at her, as if to persuade her, for her own good, the man just said was right, you'd better do what Mr. Mo said. Do it, otherwise you will be the one who suffers. "Xiao Xiao, don't gloat here." Song-K gritted his teeth and glared at Xiao Xiao, "Even if I'm unlucky, how do you think you can get better? And you, Xiao Angzhen, don't gloat either. You're so unlucky I can see your thoughts. Do you think Xiao Mian can't? You covet her, man. Do you think she will make it easier for you? Just wait, it will be your turn next." Really, regarding her words, Xiao Xiao curled her lips indifferently. "I'm not as stupid as some people. You have time to worry about others here, so you should worry more about your own affairs." After finishing speaking, Xiao Xiao left. After Xiao Xiao left, Xiao Angzhen squatted down. She looked at Song-K, who fell to the ground and was in pain and couldn't stand up. She smiled and stretched out a hand towards her. Song-K was stunned and looked at her in astonishment. Xiao Angzhen didn't say anything, just kept extending her hand. Song-K looked at her suspiciously. After hesitating for a few seconds, he still stretched out his hand. Xiao Angzhen helped her get up. Hand halfway, he suddenly let go. Song-K fell to the ground again. She was so angry that she raised her head and roared with cracked teeth, "Xiao Angzhen, you!" Xiao Angzhen stood at her feet, lowered his head, looked at her condescendingly, curled his lips and sneered, "Song-K, I just want you to get used to what it feels like to fall to the ground. Anyway, You will definitely be better than me next time. This fall is worse and more severe. I don't know if I'll be better off in the future, but I know you won't be fine. Do you still want to continue to be in the entertainment industry? Haha, just go ahead and dream. Soon, Chiao Angzan also left. Song K lay on the ground with a pale face, and her knees were so painful that she could not stand. Later, a staff member helped her up. As soon as Song K returned to her room, she saw two staff members in her room, who were packing her things. It's almost all done. What are you doing? Song K asked with a low growl, his face turned blue with anger. Miss Song, we are helping you pack your luggage. Your luggage has been packed. Miss Song, please come and check to see if there is anything missing. If not, we will send Miss Song away immediately. How could you do this? Song K was shaking with anger. Who allowed you to touch my things? The two staff members looked at each other and then said, we saw Miss Song fell and had difficulty moving, so we helped you clean up. Song K was so blocked that he could not speak. How could she not know that the staff was eager to get her out as soon as possible? Everything is because of that man named Mo Yesi. No one dared to take his words seriously. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1897. Chapter 1897 Apology Weibo. MS Song, if there is nothing wrong with your luggage, we will send you away now, the staff urged again. This is no different from driving her away. Just putting it mildly. Even if Song K was angry and didn't want to leave, the result would be that she couldn't help him. Asterisk. Song K didn't know that she was just removed from a variety show. That's nothing. Not long after she left the show, it was revealed that she had someone spread rumors about Jiao Mian on Weibo. This time, the person who broke the news was actually an employee of the program team. When this breaking news was released, there was still a sensation on Weibo. Although Song K is not very popular, he is still a second-tier artist, and he still became famous by taking the innocent and cute route. It still surprised many people to be exposed to such information. No, Song K did it? Song K doesn't look like such a person. Is this also spreading rumors about Song K? I remember that many people stood up to speak for Jiao Mian, but Song was the last one, and it took a long time before she posted on Weibo. I thought she was a little strange at the time. I didn't expect that there would be a follow-up to this incident. Song K seems to be a very pure and cute girl. If she really did this, then you really can't just judge people by their appearance. Where did the black guy come from to slander us like this? Can a random Weibo post prove that the revelations are true? Then I will say that Zanbo and I are in a relationship. Does anyone believe it? That's right, don't you pay attention to evidence when breaking news nowadays? Do you just rely on your mouth to break the news? Does anyone believe this? This is obviously a deliberate attempt to discredit our family. Keek. Take Keek away, but Keek won't make a date. Jiao Mian is an 18-year-old, what can we do for Keek to spread rumors about her and slander her? This is someone who wants to take the opportunity to deliberately slander Keek. Cokes, please don't be fooled. Song K's fans reacted very fiercely, scolding the person who broke the news in the comment area. On the other side, Song K was sitting on the bus of the program team. As soon as he got on the bus, he received a call. It was her agent who called her. Required her to post a Weibo post immediately to apologize to Jiao Mian on Weibo. How can Song K be willing? She said with a pale face, what, you want me to apologize to her on Weibo? It's impossible, I won't post on Weibo. Once she posts on Weibo, everyone will know that she is the one who spread the rumor about Jiao Mian. Then the persona she has managed for so many years will collapse. I don't know what was said over there. Song K's face suddenly turned ugly. After a while, she bit her lip and hung up the phone bitterly. While the news about Song K was being discussed on Weibo, someone discovered that Song K had posted on Weibo. And it's also an apology Weibo. Song K, I want to solemnly apologize to Chiao Mian. Because of some conflicts, I got angry and asked someone to post a rumor on Weibo. This incident had a great impact on Chiao Mian's reputation. Even if the rumor has been refuted, the damage caused to her is still there. I am now deeply ashamed of my despicable behavior. I solemnly apologize to Chiao Mian again. I will also seriously reflect on my behavior. I am sorry, I am really sorry. Song K's Weibo post quickly became a hot search topic after it was posted. Her fans who criticized netizens in various comment sections and said that the revelations were rumors suddenly became mute after seeing her Weibo post. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1898. Chapter 1898 Looking for benefits for his wife or something. Song K has posted on Weibo himself, how can they continue to say that the news is a rumor? Passers-by were shocked. Fans were also shocked. They can't believe that their idol could be such a person. Song K actually did it, this is too much. What kind of hatred and grudges are there to spread rumors about a girl like this? I can't believe that a little fairy who usually looks kind and beautiful would do such a despicable and vicious thing. Your circle is really chaotic. Although I am a fan of Song K, from this moment on, I announce that I am no longer a fan. The idol I am a fan of does not necessarily have to be an outstanding person, but the most basic kindness must be there. I also announced my resignation, she has disappointed us so much. Not long after Song K posted it on Weibo, the official Weibo account of The Meaning of Travel also posted a Weibo post. The content on Weibo is to announce the replacement of Song K. Song K will be replaced by a female artist named Sulu. Her status is similar to that of Song K, and both are second-tier artists. After the official Weibo post was posted, it sparked another discussion. Is Song K getting cold? I don't know if it's cool or not, but the character must have collapsed. It's your own fault. It's better if artists with evil intentions like this are banned. If they continue to stay in the entertainment industry, wouldn't they become a cancer in the entertainment industry? As soon as several Weibo posts about Song K were posted, the number of Song K's Weibo fans continued to decrease at an extremely fast rate. In just 10 minutes, she lost hundreds of thousands of fans. And the number of fans continues to decrease. But these are not the worst for Song K. Because next, there are still a lot of advertising terminations waiting for her. She caused a scandal during the signing period, which affected the image of the relevant brands, and a huge amount of liquidated damages was waiting for her. Asterisk. Later, Chiao Mian learned that he would fly to another city for filming the next day. She asked Mo Yesi, I heard from Sister Shen and others that they are going to Weihai for filming tomorrow. Mo Yesi, does this matter have something to do with you? Did you propose to change the location for filming? Yeah, Mo Yesi didn't hide anything from her, nodded and admitted, I suggested it. It's not safe here, and the conditions are so bad. I promised you to continue filming this show, but I didn't say I would let you continue to stay. It's here. You can continue to shoot, but it's up to me to choose where to shoot. Chiao Mian. So you chose Weihai, do they have no objection? I don't know if you have any opinions, I don't care either. Alright. Chiao Mian is not a hard-working person, so she doesn't have any objection if she can move to a better place. And she also just learned that Mo Yesi invested a lot of money in this program. As the employer's father, of course he enjoys some privileges. For example, looking for benefits for his wife or something. Pack the things away, Mo Yesi said as he found her suitcase. Chiao Mian was stunned for a moment. Pack your things. Aren't you leaving tomorrow? Isn't it too early to start packing now? Mo Yesi turned his head and glanced at her, then knelt down and opened the suitcase. I have booked a hotel and I won't stay here tonight. Pack our things and we'll leave. For Moyesi, who has a misophobia, he would feel uncomfortable staying in such a place for one more second. If it weren't for Chiao Mian, it is impossible for him to come to such a place. He had never planned to spend a night in a place like this. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1899. Chapter 1899 Being slapped hard in the face. Don't live here, Chiao Mian was stunned again. Well, I won't live here. Moyesi opened the suitcase and started to help her pack her luggage. We live in Ningcheng. It will be convenient for you to go to the airport tomorrow. But, is this possible? Do I need to ask for a leave from the program team? Of course it can be like this. I am now the largest sponsor of your variety show, and everything I say is very useful. Chiao Mian. Well, although his words are a bit arrogant, it is indeed the employer's father who is the biggest now. Who dares not to listen to the father of the employer? Moyesi moved quickly, and Chiao Mian didn't bring much luggage. In about half an hour, all her luggage was packed. Moyesi dragged the suitcase with one hand and held Chiao Mian with the other as he walked out of the house. After coming out, I met Jeanbo and Sumufei. Normally, the two of them would greet Chiao Mian immediately. But this time, the two of them just stood there and had no intention of coming forward to say hello. It's not that they don't want to say hello. But when they were about to go, they were dissuaded by a cold look that was not very kind. The man's eyes seemed to have the words "keep away from strangers" written in big words. The same aura of indifference permeated his body. Although he didn't say a word, just a look was enough to make people feel oppressive. That is probably a powerful aura naturally possessed by those who have been in power for a long time. Ordinary people will be involuntarily afraid of it after seeing it. Moyesi took Chiao Mian out of the courtyard, and then they started discussing in a low voice. Is that Chiao Mian's boyfriend? He seems to have a bad temper and is not an easy person to get along with. I heard that he is a young master from a wealthy family. It is normal for someone with such a background to have a temper. Do you think her boyfriend seems a little hostile to us? That look just now was really scary. But to be honest, her boyfriend is quite handsome. I thought he was an ordinary-looking rich man. I didn't expect her appearance to be quite good. Several other people agreed with this point. This boyfriend, Chiao Mian, is indeed good-looking. They are both men, and they all think her boyfriend is quite good-looking. Several people behind. Several female staff members of the program team were also discussing in low voices. Wow, Chiao Mian's boyfriend is so handsome and has a good figure. He's also super classy. Chiao Mian is also very beautiful. She and her boyfriend are really a combination of handsome men and beautiful women. Her boyfriend is simply a breath of fresh air among the rich second generation. Finally, it is no longer a combination of beauty and beast. Her boyfriend is very nice to her. He held her hand the whole time. He even helped her carry her luggage. Isn't it right for a boyfriend to help his girlfriend carry her luggage? I think her boyfriend is willing to do these things because he likes her very much. Han Jiajia went out with her husband before, and she didn't see her husband helping her with her luggage. In comparison, I think Chiao Mian's boyfriend, it's really good for her. If you treat her badly, why would you come so far away to see her? To be honest, I am so envious of Chiao Mian. Her boyfriend is handsome, rich, and yet treats her so well. But it's not envy, we don't have it. That person's good looks. I heard that when her boyfriend just came over today, Chiao Angzhen went to show her courtesy, but she was slapped hard in the face. It's quite ridiculous to think about it. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1900. Chapter 1900 Mo Shixiu, are you exaggerating? Didn't Jiao Mianmian's former boyfriend be snatched away by her? Now that the Su family is in dire straits, and she broke up with the young master of the Su family, is she trying to repeat her old tricks and steal men from Jiao Mianmian again? Fortunately, look at it. If you don't fall in love with her, it's useless for her to think so. Of course I don't like her. Although they are sisters, their looks are too different. If I were a man, I would choose Jiao Mianmian. It cannot be said that Jiao Angzan is not beautiful, but she is still far behind Jiao Mianmian. These words were all heard by Jiao Angzan. She stood at the door with an ugly face, her eyes following Jiao Mianmian and Mo Yesi, who had already walked out of the courtyard, and her fingers tightened on the door frame inch by inch. Asterisk. Yunchinj. Later, Mo Shixiu took Zhang Luli back to Mo's house. Before going back, he called the old lady and didn't say anything specific. He just said that he and Zhang Luli would go back for dinner. The old lady was naturally very happy and started organizing the event early. It was less than 2 months before Zhang Luli found out she was pregnant, so she didn't show any signs of pregnancy at all. She looked no different from not being pregnant. But Mo Shixiu was still very nervous about her. She is no longer allowed to wear tighter clothes, and she can only wear flat shoes. On the way, the driver was repeatedly told to drive slower, so that the originally 1-hour drive ended up taking an hour and a half without traffic jams. After Mo Shixiu got out of the car, he waited aside. Zhang Luli handed his hand to him, and he immediately held it firmly. As soon as her feet touched the ground, Mo Shixiu's arms wrapped tightly around her waist, and his gentle reminder was heard in her ears, "Be careful, slow down." Zhang Luli twitched the corner of his mouth and turned his head to look at him. Mo Shixiu, are you exaggerating? Can't you be so nervous? You make me a little nervous. Originally, she didn't think the pregnancy was that important. She felt that she was pregnant, but it was not much different from usual. But Mo Shixiu had been very nervous and concerned since he knew she was pregnant. She is not allowed to do this, and she is not allowed to do that. It made Zhang Luli feel like she was turning into waste because she was pregnant, making her whole person particularly fragile. Luoli, you are a pregnant woman now. I can't help but be nervous. Do you know that pregnant women are a high-risk group, especially in the first few months, so they must be more careful. As Mo Shixiu spoke, the arm wrapped around her waist tightened some more. Hold her tighter. Zhang Luli. How come she doesn't know that pregnant women are a high-risk group? Young master, Miss Zhang, you are back. Uncle Zhang came out to greet them. When he saw the two of them, he smiled and said, "The old lady is waiting for you in the hall." Uncle Zhang, I will change my name to MRS Young Master from now on. Mo Shixiu's simple words made Zhang Bo stunned. After a few seconds, Uncle Zhang showed an expression of surprise and joy on his face, and said happily, "Congratulations to the eldest young master, congratulations to the eldest young madam." Young master, does the old lady know about this? I haven't told grandma yet. Mo Shixiu smiled, I'll tell her later when we meet. The old lady will definitely be very happy if she knows. Mo Shixiu nodded, hugged Zhang Luli and walked a few steps forward, then asked, "Are mom and dad at home?" "Madam and master are both at home," Zhang Bo replied. Mo Shixiu frowned slightly and said nothing more. End of this chapter.